Gusto mo ba ng bahay pero nagtatalo ang isip mo whether to buy or build? Parang pa nag-iisip ka kung ano ang kakainin mo sa lunch. Lutong bahay or ready to eat? Lutong bahay or fast food? Pritong manok or chicken joy? O di ba biglang humirap? Kung isa ka sa mga nagtatanong kung ano ba ang mas maganda, magpatayo ng bahay o bumili ng bahay, then this video is for you. In this video, I will be sharing my thoughts as an architect on what are the advantages and disadvantages of buying a house or building it from scratch. I am Carlo, and I'm an architect. Somebody once asked me which is better, to buy a readily built house or to build it from scratch. Actually, the answer lies on you, the home buyer. Which do you prefer better? And to help you decide, I made a list of what I think are the factors to consider in this conundrum. Lalim, di ba? By the way, I will be talking from the point of view of an architect. I may not be an expert when it comes to real estate, pero sa dami ng project na nahawakan ko na or na-experience ko na, I kinda know how it goes. Hopefully in the end, it will help you decide on which is better or which is more ideal for you in your situation. So on this list, the options will be: number 1, building your own house. Number 2, buying a new house, meaning ikaw ang unang titira sa bagong gawang bahay. And to make this list more comprehensive, I will include number 3, buying an old or pre-owned house, meaning may iba nang tumira dito dati. And number 4, renting or leasing a property. Disclaimer: these will be solely based on my opinions as an architect. The final decision will rely solely on you as the home buyer, because we all have varying opinions and preferences on this matter. It will all depend on which one you prefer the most. What I will be showing here will be a list of factors to consider. I won't even mention a specific floor area since houses have different sizes, style, colors, and shape. Kaya naman itong video na ito ay pwede sa lahat ng klase ng bahay. Some of the factors here won't be too detailed para madaling intindihin. So without further ado, let's begin. Cost or budget. Building your own. You need to have a budget ready either through savings or through loans. It will be more expensive at first, and you also need to hire an architect to design it and a contractor to build it. You may also need to buy some of the finishing materials on your own. Depende sa agreement mo with your contractor. This can save you cost on the construction. Buying new, or the houses which are ready for occupancy or on pre-selling. You don't need a big amount, pero usually you need to prepare a down payment as a requirement in most housing development models. There are also various payment options that will suit your monthly budget, like rent to own, which is from 5 years up to 30 years to pay. Buying old or previously owned houses, possibly lower than the price of buying a brand new house. Most of the time, you need to have a readily available budget either through savings or through acquiring a loan. Kasi most sellers of pre-owned houses are in a rush to sell for various reasons. Kaya naman, the home buyer is sometimes forced to take a loan para makapaglabas ng malaking budget upang makuha agad ang bahay. Renting or pangungupahan. Less budget concerns but more on your preference sa budget na ideal para sa'yo. This may be considered as one with the lowest budget requirement among the choices given here, depending on the type of house you will rent. Usually ideal for those who cannot afford to buy a house yet, or those who have a house in another area but prefer to be closer to work for convenience. Financing options. Building your own. Most common options are through bank loans or Pag-ibig or SSS loans. Usually with a limited loan amount, depende sa qualifications mo. You may consult your bank or their loan offices for verification. Usually they require a complete set of designs and blueprints done and signed by an architect para ma-approve ito for a loan. Kasi dun nila ibabase ang presyo na kailangan mo para maipatayo ang bahay. Kaya naman you should get an architect to help you in the documentation. Buying new. Options are through bank loans or Pag-ibig or SSS loans. Usually, the developer has in-house financing options as well. So, mas malawak ang options mo for buying newly constructed properties or RFO and pre-selling properties. Payment methods will depend on your payment capacity. You may check with your real estate developer for more details. Buying old. Financing options are limited. Loans can be available through bank, Pag-ibig, or SSS loans. In some cases, you can also get a loan to renovate the house. Usually, you need to provide additional funds if the house needs repairs and possibly a major renovation. You may also consult an architect or a contractor kung ano ang mga posibleng repairs sa bahay. Renting. This one is dependent on your monthly income. Very rare na makarinig ako na naglo-loan for this option. Architectural design. Building your own. One good thing about building your own house is that you can have it customized to your own preference according to your wish list. This includes how many rooms you will have, how many floors you will have, how many toilets, possibly a recreational area, other amenities, and many more. Yan ang kinaganda ng magpatayo ng sarili mong bahay. The space and room options are unlimited, depending on your budget syempre. Pero still, having your hard-earned money go to a house that is specifically designed for you is a dream come true for many. Buying new. What you see is what you get. Sometimes alterations and renovation works are allowed but with limited options. Lalo na if your house is inside a well-controlled subdivision or under a real estate developer with strict implementing rules and guidelines. Usually limited ang pwedeng design options and alterations sa iyong bahay and mostly interiors lang ang pwede mong galawin. Kung may overall design theme and motif ang subdivision, malaki ang chance na hindi mo ito magagalaw sa labas or sa exterior. You may check out the rules provided by the developers when buying a unit from them. They will orient you on what alterations you can or cannot do if you're planning to get a unit from them. Buying old. What you see is what you get. But alteration options are possible depending on the location. Pre-owned houses are not necessarily inside a subdivision. Marami dyan ang outside these developments. Kaya naman malaya kang galawin ito kung sakasakali. You have options to alter the design and renovate it completely. For exterior renovations, you may need to apply for a building permit sa Office of the Building Official ng inyong local municipality or city hall. Kasi normally, exterior renovations are considered as major renovations, lalo kung plano mong i-alter ang facade or mag-expand sa labas. A house like this may be pre-owned, but you can still make it look brand new. Renting. What you see is what you get, definitely. Limited alteration and renovation options because it is not your own property, not unless it is for a long lease term for like 10 years or more. This will depend on your lease contract. Space requirements or room requirements. Building your own. Like what I've mentioned earlier, you get to have the spaces that you want and need when building your own house. Lahat ng requirements mo pwede. Usually tatanungin naman sa'yo ito ni architect kapag nagpa-design ka na ng bahay sa kanya. Lahat naman ay posible basta pasok ito sa budget. Buying new. Limited space and room options. What you see is what you get. You may be able to do interior renovations if you really need it. Buying old. Limited space options, but you have the option to renovate and alter the design completely. Some home buyers even consult with architects on the possibilities of altering the existing design and having it for renovation to be able to achieve the home buyer's requirements. So sa ganitong option, posible pa din ang customization ng overall design and planning. Limited nga lang ang options mo kasi kailangan mo pa ding isaalang-alang ang existing structural supports ng bahay. Renting. What you see is what you get. Very limited options for alteration and renovation kasi hindi naman sa'yo ang property. Ang pwede mo lang talagang gawin ay mag-reconfigure ng furniture. Location of the property and its proximity or the nearness in place. When building your own, you get to choose where you want to build your house depending on the availability of the property. Some choose properties depending on the available developments in the area, like schools, hospitals, government offices, commercial centers, recreational facilities. Some even purchase the property due to its proximity to the beach, vacation hotspots, and many more. Buying new. If you bought a house from an established developer, usually this is situated near commercial areas or developed cities or municipalities where there will be future community developments or baka established na. Kasi this is one marketing factor that the developers take advantage of whenever they sell their real estate. So better check with your real estate broker or agent kung ano-ano nga ba ang mga developments na malapit sa area ng bahay na binibili mo. Lalo na kung ikaw ay mag-uumpisang bumuo ng pamilya. Malaking tulong na ang bahay mo ay malapit sa mga government and and institutional facilities, commercial or shopping centers, schools and universities, and medical and hospital facilities. For the developers, the more development in the area, the higher they can sell their houses. Kaya naman yung iba, sinasamantala nila ang pagbili ng property na maaaring tayuan ng major developments in the future. Buying old. You get to choose where, but with limited options. Normally, these houses are anywhere from developed municipalities to remote provinces and barrios. One advantage of buying a pre-owned house in a developed area is that it is highly marketable, especially if you are planning to resell it after. Renting. You have a lot of options, usually in developed areas or in areas where rented properties are required. You will surely find one that is most suitable for you and your proximity to your work, your school, the grocery, etc. Stress level, particularly in construction and setting up. Ito ang isa sa mga bihirang madiscuss sa pag-invest sa property. Pero ito na, I will inform you on what are the stresses in buying a property. When building your own, it is accompanied by a lot of decision making, from the rooms and spaces you want to include in your house up to the materials and finishes you'd like to be installed and applied to your dream home. Your architect will be your guide in all this, so make sure to hire an architect when designing your house. Because an architect is well trained to handle this kind of situation. Kaya naman, get an architect. Sa maraming pagkakataon, ikaw ay magde-decide together with your architect. At malaking bawas yon sa stress. Kasi you get to have a professional who will assist you. Hindi kasi biro ang pagpapatayo ng bahay. Believe me, when I say that those pictures you see on Pinterest, Instagram, and other social media outlets, hindi yun ganun kadali ma-achieve. So better consult an architect for you to be able to achieve your house goals with less stress. Buying new. It is not as stressful as building your own kasi everything has been built already. So wala ka na ding masyadong gagawin. More or less, what you have to do is to check the quality of the house you bought. One advantage of buying a newly constructed house is that the developer will make sure to repair the imperfections in the house before turning it over to you. You may also check out my other videos regarding this matter on how to check the house before you buy it. I will put the link on the descriptions below. Buying old. When buying a previously owned property, most of the time it is subject to renovations to improve it or to make it look brand new. So ang stress level mo dito may be similar to when building your own. Yun nga lang, limited na rin naman ang options mo dito kasi may existing structure na nakatayo. Ang renovation ang maaaring maging cause of stress mo dito. Renting, not a lot or wala masyado. Baka kapitbahay mo na lang. Renovation and repairs. Building your own, not a lot. Since it's brand new and usually, ito ay aayusin muna ni contractor bago ito i-turn over sa kliyente. Bilang part ng contract, dapat ay malinis at maayos itong ma-turn over sa'yo. Yan ang kagandahan ng pagkuha ng legit na contractor. Buying new, not a lot. Since it's brand new at kung meron man, ito ay aayusin muna bago ito i-turn over sa'yo. Buying old, possibly a lot. Mas malamang na madaming unforeseen repairs sa lumang bahay. Hindi ito agad nakikita dahil madaming parte sa bahay ang nakatago tulad ng ibabaw ng kisame. Kaya mabuting maging mabusisi sa pagtingin ng property kung ito ay balak mong bilhin. At maghanda ka ng budget for renovation and repairs. Renting, wala. Kung meron man, this will be shouldered by the landlord kasi hindi naman sayo ang property. Timeline or oras ng paghihintay. For sure sa iba, sanay na sila dito. Building your own. 3 to 6 months minimum kung ikaw ay may sapat na budget at depende sa laki ng iyong ipapatayo. Pero kung face by face ka magpapatayo, ito ay maaaring tumagal o ito ay magdedepende pa rin sa budget mo bilang homeowner. Buying new. Upon turnover, lalo na kung ito ay nakatag na as RFO or ready for occupancy. Buying old. Renovation may take 1 to 3 months minimum, again depende sa dami ng ipapagawa mo. Renting, as soon as possible. And lastly, reselling value. Isa sa maaaring option in the event na gusto mong ibenta ang property mo is to have it sold later on. Building your own. Maaaring ito ay higher than your construction cost, lalo kung tumaas na din ang value ng property sa lugar ng pinagtayuan mo. Ito ay magdidepende sa market value during the time of selling. Buying new, pass a load. In the event na hindi mo na kayang tapusin ang bayad sa bahay mo, ito ay pwede mong ipasa sa iba at bayaran ka na lang sa mga nagastos mo na sa bahay. Ang presyo nito ay magdidepende sa iyo bilang seller. Buying old. It can be higher than the purchase value because if you have renovated it, it may cost a lot more than what you originally purchased it for. May mga pagkakataon na ang lumang property ay mas mahal pa sa original value nito dahil sa maaaring pagtaas ng value ng property sa area na pinagtatayuan nito. Kaya maging mapili sa pagbili ng property. Alamin kung ito ba ay may matinding development in the future para in the event na gusto mo na itong ibenta, maibebenta mo ito sa mas magandang presyo. Renting. Obviously, no reselling value kasi hindi naman ito sa'yo in the first place. And that's it. I hope this helped you in deciding. In the end, ikaw naman talaga ang magde-decide kung ano ang mas nababagay sa'yo sa sitwasyon mo at sa finances mo, most importantly. My advice is you do not let your current situation affect you in achieving your goals for the future. Set goals that will push you to work for it. Thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button if you liked it. You may also press on that subscribe button and you may also click on that notification bell icon to keep you updated on my future uploads. Kasi sa channel na ito, may future. On what are the... to buy a readily built... I made the list of what I think. By the way, I will be talking from the point of... pero sa dami ng product. In the end, ikaw naman talaga ang magde-decide kung ano ang mas set goals that will... You may also press on that subscribe button and you may...